Ladies and gentlemen out there, this is Artie Lang. This is disgusting.
Everybody's too nice now. We're all so nice, aren't we? But the thing is, we're not nice. Secretly, we're mean. That's essentially the show.
It is funny. I cannot be a bigger just blob of nothingness and negativity.
Party time. You want to get a little limbo dance going? Come on, I'll do it. The third person at the table was the bottom of my stomach. With hair and paleness and stretch marks. American nightmare. Weight like a spider.
And this talks about every controversial subject you can imagine.
Shock jock Artie Lang on Media Day. Can't be with that sweet stuff. Nah.
Smack the sugar right out of you. Hey, welcome to the Breakfast Show, the Artie Quitter podcast. Big news, Mattery's here, Cotton not.
What happened?
Mattery shows up today, and I'm happy to have him back. Christopher Cotton, it's kind of tragic what happened with Christopher. I'll get into that later. You guys, if you heard yesterday's show, know about the Bronx Zoo called us, and sadly enough, I sold Christopher down the river, which is why he's not here. I'll get into that in a second. Gino Bisconti is here, another great comedian. Gino, how are you?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great. Excited about the Super Bowl.
Back for his second appearance, and there's so much shit going on with the Super Bowl. We just watched the latest in the mentally ill Marshawn Lynch fucking tour of disgustingness. I mean, at this point, he's just being an asshole. He just had another press conference where he just said, "You know why I'm here. You know why I'm here." That's the new thing. And
in
you could
his defense,
say
he was changing the pronouns.
Yeah,
they
right.
know, she knows.
You could say
I'm here so I won't get fined.
that's yesterday.
Yeah.
But today he said, you know why I'm here. You know why I'm here. And, look, you could say he wins because we're talking about him, but that's the point I'm making. He claims to be shy and not media savvy, so feel sorry for me. This is why I'm doing this. But he's not. Joe made the point when we were watching it before he went on the air. He is media savvy. He's clearly playing it like a fiddle. Leon Lett. I heard Michael Irvin get interviewed today on The Fan, and he made such a good point. He didn't really come out and bash Lynch, but in an indirect way, he was making the point against Lynch in the sense that Leon Lett, who was a great player, defensive tackle, I believe, for the Cowboys, back in their dynasty years in the 90s with Aikman and Irvin and Emmitt Smith, he truly was afraid of the media. He was not a good speaker, and he was nervous. He wasn't good. And when he was in front of the cameras and the microphones getting asked questions, he physically looked ill. He would stutter, he would sweat, and you really felt bad for the guy. Lynch is not doing any of that. Lynch is just, playing the game. And he's, talk about media savvy, he's wearing a hat, which supposedly, according to Adam Schechter, is against the rules. He could get fined for that. He's wearing a hat with a logo on it. That's based on something he's selling on his website. I guess the NFL lets these players sell shit on their websites now. They create their own logo, and he was wearing a hat with the logo on it. On media day, you're not allowed to do that, so he might get fined anyway. But I mean, he's media savvy, and he's trying to make believe like he's not. Feel sorry for me, and that's all complete bullshit. He's just acting like an asshole and a pompous asshole. Joe, your thoughts?
I agree 100% with that. What you just said,
right?
Because it did. It came across lazy more than uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, yeah, just I want to make you guys look like idiots.
He's business savvy is what he is.
This is Gino Bisconti.
Because let me tell you what he's doing. It's like a constant...
You tell me what he's doing,
Let me
Gino.
tell you people, and by you people, I don't mean your 3 black listeners. I mean you guys
eight
in the
of them.
studio.
There's 8 of them.
8. I'm sorry. Let me explain something. It's a constant business loop. He gets money from Skittles, which pays all these things, and when he goes there, and you said it, he's media savvy. He creates his persona.
Wait, this has something to do with Skittles?
It's got
him
well,
not
I'm
answering
saying,
questions?
Well, I'm just saying all the money he gets fined. Whether it be for wearing the hat or not talking to the media or being a Raven rather than a Seahawk, repeating the same phrase over and over again.
Right.
Or if it's just when he wanted to wear gold cleats in that game against against the Packers. All these fines are getting paid by all the advertising rev he does, whether it's for Skittles. He's doing an ad in Seattle for a plumbing service.
But wait a minute. Is Skittles paying extra for the fines, or he's just taking it out of the
I'm just saying
money
all the
anyway?
money he's making from his endorsements.
Okay, but it's still his money.
It is his money, but do you understand? If you sit there and just be a regular clean-cut guy that's just, and I'm not saying it's one of two options, but he's not concerned about the money he's making because every time he gets up there and does what we're talking about here, furthering the image of Marshawn Lynch, he's he's getting more endorsement deals and getting, just more exposure and more people driven to his website to buy the hat that he's wearing. So he's making money. It's like paying money in fines to make money for your image and, get your brand out.
Well, I don't know. His image, it might backfire on him because at this point, any non-Seahawk fan, he's pigeonholing his fan base. Because if you're not a Seahawk fan, you think he's an asshole. I mean, that's what I think the sentiment is, right?
He definitely, he looks like an asshole.
Yeah.
Me.
A lot of people are
think so?
polarized by it, saying the poor guy, leave him alone. You have a lot of talking heads in that Seattle locker room. You could talk to Richard Sherman all day. He'll give you everything you want to talk to and then some.
Yeah,
they
but
got this new guy, Michael Bennett, the guy that rode a bike.
But it's part of the deal.
I understand.
The NFL makes a lot of money, and part of the reason is you deal with the
But the NFL,
media.
let me tell you,
and he makes a lot of money because of it.
But if you had to pick an enemy, let me tell you, I would side with Marshawn Lynch over Roger Goodell in the NFL any day, because the NFL is just. It insults our intelligence the way they act like they care when they don't. They're just making money hand over fist every way they can. And while everyone's sitting here, perfect example this week, while everyone's talking about Deflategate, which means absolutely nothing.
Well, now they're talking about Marshawn Lynch. Deflategate is already, Lynch did the greatest favor he could do for the Patriots because that's off the table. It's all Marshawn Lynch. And what the fuck he's going to say? They're quoting him like he's Shakespeare. The latest Lynch quote is underneath everybody's face on ESPN, like latest Quinch quote.
Yeah.
Latest Lynch quote. But Quinch quote.
But while they're doing that, you know what the NFL announced this week? They announced their 3 London games. Do you know who's playing? I don't know. I don't care. But you know what they decided? Remember last year they had that one game, which I remember because it was so stupid. The Lions and Falcons at 9 a.m.
Who cares?
Well, now they made all 3 London games at 9 a.m.
And they're not.
You know why? Because now you get a quadruple header. From 8 a.m. when you're turning on, if you're a fantasy guy to do your lineups and everything, you're watching football all the way through the Sunday night game, and the NFL is making a ton of money. So they don't care about this Marshawn Lynch thing. It's just more money for them to make. It's more headlines for them. So in a way, I almost can side with Marshawn Lynch. Is he being a douche? Without a doubt.
Does anyone in the room understand what Gino just said?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Then I apologize. I'm just saying the NFL.
They're trying to make money. We know that. Or you're saying that
They insult
they
our
don't care.
How does the London game tie in with Marshawn Lynch?
Because
what the fuck did you just say?
They are kidnapping 2 teams last season. Let's just say you're a Lions or a Falcons fan. They're kidnapping your team, putting them on at 9 a.m. because they know they will make money regardless. It's not like you can complain. The NFL is going to make a ton of money off that.
Right.
They're jerks. And then they do these no more ads, which I'm sorry, I'm offended by.
I agree with you because that's just damage control. You got Ray Rice knocking out this woman in an elevator, he's fucking Mike Tyson. Knocked her out for half an hour. And what do they do now? These no more ads come out. It's so disgusting.
And
it is so disgusting.
Let me be dead serious because I talk about my niece and nephew all the time. We love football. We're watching a football
Believe me,
game.
we know.
I didn't know.
That ad comes on. My 10-year-old nephew looks at me and goes, "Uncle Gino, what's this?" Because my nephew lives in
and
a
you
normal...
say it's my cock.
Right. Does it tickle? But he doesn't understand what a domestic violence ad is because he lives in a normal household. But then they're introducing this concept.
How old is he?
He's 10.
He shouldn't understand. My son's
Why?
7. He understands.
That's because your wife can't cook. But in my house...
What? Wait a minute. So your son is 7 and he understands the domestic violence situation?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, because I had to explain it to him.
Right, because the NFL made...
Why do you have to explain it to him?
Because the NFL
My kids have yet to ski.
I'm not going to tell you how to... I'm not going to tell you how to parent.
Okay.
Because you're doing something
really
right.
should.
He seems like a good kid, and your wife is there. Thank God, is the voice of reason. But why do you have to sit him down at 7 years old and explain domestic violence?
I'll explain this because that clip was on TV so much, and he saw it.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt. And proving my point, the NFL is forcing the issue down your innocent son's throat. Not unlike a Catholic priest. But my point is forcing you to address the issue, and you're going to sit there and say Marshawn Lynch is a bad guy because he's saying the same word over and over again?
I'm going to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, yeah, I could see a comparison to this, but not to the London.
Understand why men hit women, which they shouldn't do. Most of the time.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. I just think that you could let your 7-year-old slide with it. I don't think you have to. Because when you try to explain it to a 7-year-old, you can only dig a deeper hole. He doesn't know what's going on. Are you agreeing with me, Gina?
I'm saying.
What was that gesture?
I'm saying.
You're not on television.
I'm not
Say
getting.
something.
I'm not getting my point across because you're agreeing.
Because
with
you're
what I'm
not good at making points.
Fair enough, and I wish you would clarify for the listeners that I'm saying.
kidding. You're very good at making points.
You know I don't care. Please, I'm saying this is the NFL that has forced the issue that no one should have to talk about because Ray Rice is a goddamn animal.
Well,
but this is the NFL.
What he did was that. I mean, if you hit a woman like that, you have something evil in you. I mean, that was a left hook. We're not talking about a smack. We're not talking about you. You don't look nobody in the eye. You don't say goodnight to nobody.
Get your coat. You don't say goodbye to
say
nobody.
Get your coat. You don't say goodnight to nobody. That is a left hook like Frazier hit Ali with in the last round.
But the NFL, in pretending they care, put these ads on that we all agree.
It is insulting. I agree.
Insulting.
It's insulting. It's offensive.
I got Shylocks.
So now let me ask you.
I got
too,
3
man.
Shylocks I got to feed.
You ain't lonely.
So now let me ask you two Ginzos, what do you think is more offensive? Marshawn Lynch getting in front of a microphone saying, I'm just here so I don't get fined, or the way the NFL insults our intelligence, takes our money, and makes us tell our
Here's
children
where
about
you're mixing it up. I'm not offended by Marshawn Lynch. I just think he's an asshole.
Right.
Offensive is
But I think
something
Roger
very
Goodell is a bigger
different.
asshole. That's my point. Remember with this conversation we started 3 hours ago?
I think Roger Goodell is like a robotic, creepy guy. I do, and is he evil? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think the man's evil. Ray Rice has some evil in him. I don't think Goodell would ever hit a woman like that. I hope a lot of people wouldn't. And he's just insulting our intelligence by doing damage control with it. That's what I feel. And then, of course, that brings us to the London game at 9 a.m.
3 of them.
Are they really going to try to have a franchise in London?
I don't know.
How stupid would that be?
Yeah.
All right, I'm back to the Marshawn Lynch thing. It just came into my head.
Ugh,
All
that
right.
took long enough.
Either I'd rather see him not speak. Like, you're fine. He should still be fine.
He will get
for what
fined
just
if he
did,
doesn't speak.
But he should still be fined for that.
Well, see,
because
now
that
you
was
get into
more annoying.
I know, but now you get into an area. How do you word that? How do you codify that into some sort of rule where you go, okay, you have to show up and the answers have to make sense. They have to be concise. They have to be at least 5 sentences long. What do you make the guy do?
Have a judge there ruling it.
Well, you got your boy on later. He's a huge Seahawks fan. It should be interesting to see what he thinks.
Oh, well, Craig Gass.
I didn't want to tip it.
Don't
if
you
didn't
think
want
being
to.
part of the pro athlete, one of the reasons you get the money is you have to do this stuff. You're in the limelight.
I just said that. It's part of generating the money that you make.
Right.
Is dealing with the media. And now if you really have an issue like Leon Lett did where you're clearly emotionally distraught about it, I really felt bad for that guy. Remember Lester Hayes, defensive back, the Stickum guy?
Yeah.
He had a bad speech impediment. And I remember Brian Gumbel, bad stutterer, bad speech impediment. And after the Super Bowl, when they beat the Eagles in 1980, Brian Gumbel, who doesn't have that issue, is like a Harvard guy, is fucking making the guy speak. And it was kind of embarrassing. And I thought he was sort of taking advantage of it. So there's that side of the question.
Right.
Okay, I feel bad for Hayes and a guy like Leon Lett. That's what do you make those people do? Do you make them not have to go? You make them exempt because they're truly physically and emotionally distraught by it? What I'm saying is Lynch is the direct fucking opposite. He knows what he's doing. He's not a stutterer. He's not sweating. He's up there in sunglasses. He looks like a rock star. He's cool with the media.
Right.
And he knows how to play it. I think with him, your point is well taken. Maybe there should be a guy going, you know what, not enough.
No.
Sit here and say fucking more.
He won't, though.
I'm thinking of the great Bill Hicks when he did a joke about
Comedian Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks where he
Yeah,
said
they say the great, really?
he was great.
It was great. Bill Hicks was great.
Where he said, "Let me paint on a plastic smile and pound through this shit one more time."
It's the greatest opening of an HBO special. It's
Great. That's what he should have to do. All right, you don't want to do it. It's like what I tell my kid. I don't want to shop. Well, there's shit in life that you don't want to do, and you got to do it.
I know, absolutely.
It's your job. Go do it.
Absolutely. You have to have comedians on who want to plug stuff.
How many nights have there been where we don't feel like doing comedy,
Oh my
but we go
God.
fucking
Dude,
do it?
forget it.
Yeah.
At this point, it's every night. I mean, collectively at the table, there's 75 years of stand-up here. Think about that.
I think I'm dying to go to Krabby Dick's tomorrow night and headline it.
Artie, you come out on stage, you're just like, I think you know. What is the line? What is the line?
I think you know why I'm here.
I think you know why I'm here. But
Well, listen, the good thing about what we do is, though, you do get energized by a great crowd. When you walk out, it really is like a drug. It's adrenaline that goes through you. If the crowd is happy to see you, and like we recently did a gig in Jersey and in Boston. The last 2 gigs we did, those crowds were so great. And you go out there and it electrifies you. And you're like, okay, if you're in a bad mood combined with the crowd being in a shit mood,
it's over.
It's not going to be a great like Cirque du Soleil type performance.
Yeah, he should have to prove does he have a social disorder? Does he have an anxiety thing?
He claims yes, and his teammates stick up for him. I think this proves he doesn't. You know how secure you have to be in your own skin to be able to do that for an hour or however long they're up there, to be able to sit there in front of every camera, every piece of media. We're not just talking about local media. You're talking about ESPN, the New York Times, the Daily News. We're talking major media people, okay? And then former teammates, former players that are right in your face. These are not unknown people. You know how comfortable you have to be in front of a mic and a camera to sit there and say, I think you all know why I'm here. Tongue-in-cheek, giggling at them. You have to be comfortable. And
right.
He's saying the direct opposite is true, that he's uncomfortable. I don't buy it. You made the point before we went on the air, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
The sunglasses annoyed me a little bit.
I think
gotta
there's
be
bigger
honest.
a-holes
Not a
to deal
fan
with
of
in
the
the NFL.
sunglasses in the interview.
No one argues that there's bigger assholes in the world. Putin is a bigger asshole, but
I said in the NFL, though, in
we're
the
focusing on one asshole.
Agreed.
Here he is.
You know why I'm here.
This is today. See how long you can listen to this for. Go ahead.
Marshawn, after you won the Super Bowl last year, you went to Brazil, did a clinic in Brazil, worked really well with the kids, and you become kind of an idol in Brazil. Can you give a message to the kids that you worked with back then?
You know why I'm here.
I had a camp counselor who tucked me in like that every night.
I mean,
Someone should say that every time they tackle him Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
Just
listen.
smash him.
Here's
into
the
ground.
problem. The guy's a great player.
Yeah,
too.
he's amazing.
You can shut that off. In the prop bets, by the way, there's odds. Will he grab his crotch after his first touchdown? Because he grabs his crotch. He really is a defiant prick. Grabbing your crotch in front of people. There are a lot of kids watching. You can calm down with that too. I mean, I'm not offended by it either. But kids are watching. You're grabbing your dick. Okay, fine them. But
That's a big bull.
What do you find them? I remember the first beach ball I played for in DirecTV. They said, listen, it's airing on DirecTV. There's 5-year-olds, literally 5-year-olds watching. And not only on TV live, there's 5-year-olds watching in the live stands. They're right here in front of us. So if you do something on camera, there's big screens all over the place. Everyone's seeing you, including the kids. B-rated G. And even I was like sort of compliant. Snoop Dogg was the MVP of the game. The first time he scores, he looks right in the camera and he starts rolling an imaginary joint. Like just a huge joint, like, yeah, and licking it, and then he starts smoking the joint. God. They cut him off real quick. Second time, then they give him the lecture again. Please don't do that again. They go, okay, fine. Next time he scores a touchdown, he screws the ball into the sand, so it's like standing up like you're going to kick it for a field goal. He grabs it like it's got hair and starts fucking it doggy style, and he's slowly fucking the ball doggy style. And then DirecTV comes over and like tackles him and says, "No, you can't do this anymore." That's Snoop's being defiant. That's what Marshawn Lynch.
I would say, don't you think being defiant is great publicity? You've made a career of it, really, when you think
because
about it.
We've been talking about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it in front of 5-year-olds.
No, I'm saying, but you aren't a.
That was their point. Their point was, don't do it in front of the 5-year-old kids. I kind of get that. Grabbing your crotch on national TV. Look, they're laying down the rules. And I break the rules. There's no question about it. But I think, and I've paid the consequences for it. So this guy's paying the consequences for it. I don't know.
It doesn't look like he's paying any consequence.
I said I don't think he is.
He's going to probably not get fined.
He's going to end up being in the black after this because he's going to get more and more endorsements. He's the bad boy. There will be people on his side. And again, in the grand scheme, the machination of the giant that is the NFL, this is just one dude that's distracting you from the big picture that the NFL cannot make enough money.
By the way,
it's the greatest product in the
Our
world.
word was first person to say machination does win $500.
Thank you very much. Now, can we put that towards my fine that I have for not showing?
If Seattle wins the Super Bowl, I don't want him making any speeches at the victory parade.
Well, he's
He
not
won't.
gonna. He probably won't.
Like, 'cause I
he's
could-
so uncomfortable for the media.
But Mike Schmidt, who we're big Phillies fans, he had like a problem with the media too. He didn't want to speak. But I remember
Until he
him
cried like a pussy.
And I
never not funny to me.
remember him giving a speech when the Phillies won the World Series in '80, and he gave a really great.
Yeah, but it
speech.
wasn't that he was speaking, but he just didn't like the media. He didn't want to talk.
Steve Carlton was worse, as I
Well, he
remember. He
wouldn't
didn't
talk.
speak at all.
He had a twitch. The speech I remember from Mike Schmidt is, a kid left Dayton, Ohio 20 years ago with bad knees and a dream to play baseball. Literally to play baseball.
You leave Mike Schmidt alone. Michael Jack Schmidt.
Harry
Fucking
Callis
speech I
interjected.
remember.
Hey, Mike, you got to stop crying there. You're making yourself look like a fucking fag.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Even he was
Fucking
even he
bag.
was upset by it. Harry Callis. Here we go.
Some 18 years ago, I left Dayton, Ohio, with two very bad knees.
From Blowing Guy.
And a dream to become a Major League Baseball player.
It's like 30 years ago. Let him go.
I thank God that the dream came true.
Boy, with that, the man who's worn number 20 for 17 years
asshole.
had to walk away.
You know, okay, going right into that. Speaking of that, here is Dan Filato talking to my. And again, I've questioned Dan's sexuality, but listen. This is Dan Filato. I'm going to leave you to judge on your own. This is Dan Filato talking to my sister Stacy's dogs.
Look who it is!
That's the other one. That's the last of one brood.
Oh my goodness! You
Of the pack.
crazy!
Where's Art?
I think he went to Starbucks real quick.
Dan immediately covering for him. He's afraid my sister's going to think I went out drinking or something. He went to Starbucks. But Dan, explain yourself. That is, I mean, you're a grown man. Look who it is. Look who it is. It's a puppy. It's a puppy. It's a
Crazy!
Hello.
Asshole.
Does anyone here not have douche children?
I got a little.
It's a little dog. They get scared by
Oh,
big
okay.
voices.
A little. Yeah, right. They get scared at big voices. You know this, Art.
And I think that one's a little slow. It may be retarded. I don't.
Oh, so mock out the dog now.
They get spooked in a large voice at the sound of a zipper coming
The
down.
dog's homophobic. And I've said this before to my sister. I think Dan might have had sexual intercourse with one of the dogs. Because the dogs are a little squeamish around Dan.
Which one? The one with the limp?
Look who it is. Look who it is. Ooh. Look at that.
Crazy!
That doesn't even sound like him. It's like a different person.
Look at that. Look at him. And Dan, as you know, if he packs on some weight every once in a while, and I wrote a song. I don't think this song is clever or funny in any way, but I'm doing this because we can get away with this on a podcast. This is under the category of shit I could only do on a podcast. I wrote a song for Dan based on that doggy talk called I'm a Fat Fag.
It's cute.
I'm a fat fig. I like dudes and greasy foods. I'm a fat fig. I like swallowing jizz and cheese whiz. I'm a fat fig. I like french fries and hairy guys. I'm a fat fig. Mayonnaise and parades for gays. I'm a fat fig. I want a cheese wheel and guys who squeal. I'm a fat fig. I need bromo and another homo. I'm a fat fig. I like bagels and lox and black cocks. I'm a fat fig. I like Nestle's quick and second dick. I'm a fat fig. I like salty nuts and fucking butts. I'm a fat fig. I like extra mayo and Scott Baio. I'm a fat fig.
I like that.
I'll swallow every crumb and all your cum. I'm a fat fig. I like Famous Amos and Greg Louganis. I'm a fat fig. I'm a fat fig. I like extra white dough and super hairy Rob Lowe. I'm a fat fig. I'm a fat fig, and let me end this by saying this. I'm a fat fig. I love Richard Simmons' piss. I'm a fat fig. I like a shellfish tower and Eddie Bauer. I'm a fat fig.
I take bubble bath.
Thanks for adding that in, Dan.
I didn't know Eddie Bauer was gay. I'm going to have to take my winter coat back.
You really didn't know that?
No, is it gay?
No, he's not bad. I think he's Abercrombie and Fitch.
That's all I can think of.
Eddie Bauer. I'm like,
Fat
oh,
fig.
shit.
I like Famous Amos and Greg Louganis.
That's the best. The Greg Louganis, Famous
Just
Amos.
play the dog again.
I thought Mayo and Scott Baio was
That's
really.
pretty
Play
good,
the
too.
dog again.
Oh my god! Look who it is! Look who it is!
That's the other one. That's the last of one brood.
My sister sounds like James Caan.
Where's Art?
He's definitely not drinking somewhere.
He's not doing H in the shitter.
Yeah,
Oh,
no way.
that's a relief.
He's not shooting heroin. What are you doing over there, Filati? You look creepy. That must be name.
He sounds so gay that I think you can get rid of your cleaning lady and he'll just do it for you for free.
This was an AP bulletin just about 10 minutes ago. Really?
Cabaret Joel star Joel Grey comes out as gay.
Jeez.
Well, Jennifer Grey's daughter's shocked. Well, there's another story. Dan, was that a story about John Travolta? Was that recent that a kid...
happened in the last 2 weeks.
Another kid claims at a hotel or wherever, another masseuse type kid, that John Travolta came on to him at 3 a.m. And listen, the best thing for the gay community would be for a guy like John Travolta to come out and say, listen, and he's heavy set too. He's a fat fig.
Did you guys ever hear the voicemail that we got about John Travolta?
The what?
The voicemail that we got?
No, let's hear it.
On yesterday's podcast, Artie said John Travolta's gay, which I don't disagree or agree with, but
I didn't say that.
I'd like him to elaborate on that, because if he's a fag, I would like to know. Was he out on an LA party and saw him fucking blow a dude and get semen all over his face? I would like to know that. Yeah. All right, bye.
No, I didn't say that. I said that I can't say it for sure. He's never said it. I'm saying there's evidence that would make you think that he's gay. And the issue is
a preponderance of evidence.
The issue is he has kids, so he probably feels bad. Maybe it would harm his kids and his wife, Kelly Preston, if it came out. But I feel John Travolta is at least bisexual. Joe, your thought?
What are your...
And he's heavy set, so
what do you
again,
think
Fat Fig, my new hit song applies to
But
him
he
as well.
mispronounced Idina Menzel's name. You would think he would know that. If
I'm a fat fig. I like...
So what are your reasons for thinking he's gay? The haircut?
What do you mean the reasons? All these people who come forward and say they hit on him.
Yeah, why are you pussyfooting around this, Joe?
Gino, explain what I'm talking about.
He's a queer. He likes the cack.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, why would you think?
Yeah,
I think it because of the way everyone else thinks it. What do you mean?
Okay, because of the accusation.
If you see hoof prints, don't think zebras. One of those things, okay? That's what
Gino, do you know what? Because Joe is, wants to get Look Who's Talking 3, I guess. I mean, come on.
I don't know who you're trying to protect, Joe.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Fat Fig,
I think Travolta seems a little gay.
He can eat all day. And he likes
you're
Joe Grey.
mailing that one in, dude.
Yeah.
It didn't sound convincing.
It did not sound
Let's
convincing.
try. I'm going to try it again. I think he seems a little gay. John Travolta.
Next.
It's not about what he seems like. I'm talking about the 4,000 people men who have said he's come onto them.
Right. How many are there?
A lot.
Has meant more than Cosby
Gino,
has women
do you
that
agree
raped him?
with me? Do you
that he
agree with
raped?
me?
I think there's no questioning.
More
that,
than the Cosby numbers.
Yeah, no, not more than the Cosby. What are the Cosby numbers? Like 25, 30 now? But there's just constant people coming out and saying it. You know, and why do you just gang up on a guy and decide to do this if there isn't some kind of proof there? Am I saying he's gay? No.
Right.
But I definitely think what he's saying, the bisexual thing, is very possible.
Also, more proof. We have John Travolta talking to my sister's daughter.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Here he is.
Oh my God. Look who it is.
Now do you think he's gay, Joe?
That's the other one. That's the last of one brood.
Oh my goodness.
Of the pack.
Crazy.
John Travolta is obviously gay.
100% gay.
Who is that little guy? Who is that little guy?
Oh my.
It's unbelievable.
That is
I love that you have it
amazing.
on tape.
And listen,
Great.
before I get these phone calls, I realize that the Fat Fag song is offensive, not clever. I'm saying I'm celebrating that we're doing a podcast, and you could do whatever you want.
It's fantastic.
And I mean, this is, you couldn't get away with this anywhere else.
I used to have a Greg Louganis joke, actually.
Really?
What was it?
It was...
You used to have a career. This was
it's
probably
true.
part of it.
Oh my God, Gino all over. What the hell was that?
Stop it.
I said, what do you think?
Joe, come back
What do you think? Doo-doo. What do you think was worse? Greg Louganis getting diagnosed as HIV positive, or finding out Screech from Saved by the Bell was playing him in the... what's that? I fucked the joke up.
No, I hear
the girl. I think you're taking liberties.
Wait, Screech.
What's that girl network?
Lifetime.
The Lifetime movie. Yeah, there was a Screech, not Screech.
I can go out and get his coffee. I can go out to Starbucks and get his coffee while he's doing this joke.
See, I should have had a coffee before we did the podcast. I meant Slater. Slater, the guy you hate. That guy.
Mario Lopez.
You hate Mario
Is
Lopez.
this the actual joke where
That's
you just
the joke.
conjugate the entire cast?
I fucked the whole joke
Bell?
up, and then I explained that I made the mistake, and the crowd goes wild.
Now I think it's hilarious.
They can't get enough
I'd like
of me
to change
fucking
my
up.
answer. That's hilarious.
I'm a fat fig. I like extra mayo and scapeo.
That's my favorite.
Would you rather have HIV or
See,
have
because there's
Slater
a Y
play you?
in mayo, but bayo doesn't have a Y in
Would
it.
you
Yet
ra-
it rhymes.
I'm
How
re-
does he do
I'm
it?
really asking you.
What?
Would you rather be HIV positive or have Slater play you in your
Well,
lifetime?
now you're trying to
movie?
recover. Of course,
Yeah, I mean, you are not.
Of course, you'd rather. Have
no one
AIDS.
wants it. Yeah. I would rather have full-blown AIDS.
Full-blown AIDS.
I would rather have fully blown AIDS
Or have Slater
than have
play.
Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez's dimples. How many
hates it.
mornings does he have to scrape the jizz out of those dimples? How many mornings has he had, like after some fucking orgy at some house in Malibu, so he could get the part in a Lifetime movie? Has he had to like take a pair of like tweezers and scrape the dried up cum out of his dimples? Again, the podcast, we can only.
Do you
find tweezers work best for
Do you
that?
think there's a lot of women out there
I know
that
that.
maybe they don't have a problem with their husband being into men on the side?
Who's Mario Lopez? Who's Mario Lopez?
Imagine if you're going to do a threesome, like every dude would want to see two chicks. Why are you winking, Joe? Meanwhile, I would imagine if you're a chick, you'd want to see two dudes, so that's kind of a win-win for Kelly
Gino's
Preston.
only problem on the radio is he does visual jokes.
I asked him why he was
Wink,
winking.
wink.
But that wasn't a visual because he wasn't really winking, but I implied he was and didn't want people to see. That's what a wink is. Like when he was doing the Slater joke and he kept winking because he wanted to screw up on purpose. Now I'm helping him with the fake wink.
I'm a fat fig.
There's no Y in Scott
I like
Baio.
Gino
How
Bis-
does it rhyme with
I like
Mayo?
Gino Bisconti. Well, the reason Gino's here, by the way, here's the story.
It's 'cause you want
Is
me
this
to
the
see it.
guy?
Oh my God!
What?
Let's talk more about his bald head. Wow.
Yeah, he looks odd with the new hair too, John Travolta. He does.
Oh my goodness.
Who's the guy here? A creepy-looking John Travolta raised eyebrows by chatting with a handsome stranger in an empty Florida gym during the wee hours.
Yeah,
Or as he calls them, the wee hours.
Empty Florida gym.
Thanks for getting that.
An empty. What is John Travolta doing in an empty Florida gym at 3 a.m?
He's doing a trainer.
What is he doing there?
Hey, could you help me? I need you to spot me. For a
Yeah.
second.
He claimed he doesn't get enough time to exercise, so that's the only time at night.
Yeah, he has four. He owns 4 757s. He doesn't have a treadmill in his house.
He goes to public gyms.
He has 4. He has a landing pad in his backyard.
I knew I
and he
should
doesn't have an elliptical machine.
I knew I should have bought an elliptical instead of that last 750.
Yeah, instead of the 757, I want to get a little gym outside by the pool.
I should have got that Tybo DVD, but I blew it on a plane.
I'm a fat fig. I like Grease in the movie Grease. I'm a fat. All right, so Gino's here, and here's the real. I feel bad about this. We got this voicemail. Here's the real reason Christopher Cotton's not here today. We got this voicemail from the Bronx Zoo.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Hi, Artie. This is Dave Wilcox at the Bronx Zoo. Recently, one of our male gorillas, Christopher Cotton, escaped from his winter enclosure here at the zoo. We have been informed that he's been seen and heard on your podcast. We're actually interested in having Chris come back to the zoo. So if you would contact me with your information, we can come over and bring some bananas, set up a trap, and bonk him on the head, bring him here back to the zoo. All the kids love that big old monkey. So give me a call back.
This guy cracks himself up.
He should crack himself up.
So here's the thing.
That is how you deliver a joke, Matarese Slater.
I was not gonna sell out my good buddy Christopher Cotton, but I was contacted by some local authorities and said it's probably best. So they sent over the bananas in the trap, and we trapped him. I bonked him on the head myself.
Bonked him.
And Christopher's now back at the park. Was that me bonking him on the head? Also, do you have the black guy who left the Guinea Wap Dago one? Because I want to talk about a tweet he sent. Another guy, a black guy by the name of Patrice, actually claims that he wants to be the leader of the Black Artie Lang fan club. He claims there's 8 of them right now.
There's 8. There's 8.
That was all.
There's 8 subscribers.
How does he claim that? Where did he get Where does he get those numbers?
Interesting. Also, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Artie, why don't you try making the voice message longer? You Dago, Wop, Guinea, garlic breath, pizza slinging, spaghetti bending, Victor Mo, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo me and not singing motherfucker. All jokes aside, my name is Patrice. I have, unfortunately, a girl's name.
All jokes aside.
And I would like to be put in charge of the Black Artie Lang fan club. I think calling ourselves the Artie Blaine fans. Essentially, black fans of Artie Lang. So give that some thought. Run that through. Let your people talk that through. The likes of Dan Filato and that jerk off that does a sound effect. I forget his name.
Flippin' catching shit.
Terrible radio voice. Love the podcast. I'm one of, I believe, 8 black subscribers to the podcast. We're a small cohort, but powerful.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Patrice. I got a tweet from Patrice where he's in fact accepted my official offer to be the leader of the Black Artie Lang fans of the podcast, and he's going to try to double that number by next year to 16 people. Joe, your thoughts?
I just can't believe this kid would rat on me so late at night. I was just working out.
Nice. Travolta.
Terrible Travolta.
Travolta has to go to the fucking Crunch near his gym, near his house.
I just like working out late.
At 3 a.m. And look at the kid.
Look at the thumbs up he's doing.
Yeah,
in the
but see,
picture.
this would not convince me John Travolta's gay.
Well, no, but this kid it's the sheer numbers, man.
Fair enough. That I agree with. But
it's really, all kidding aside, it's about 50 guys in the last couple of years. Right, 50. Dan? I mean, at least, what would you say, 50? 50 guys have come out and said he more than hit on me. He rubbed up against me and was grabbing my cock and all that shit.
The 15-minute conversation soon took a turn towards awkward, claimed Justin. He asked me what I do for a living, if I was married, if I have kids, and what I do with my spare time, added Justin. When asked if I thought John was sizing him up, Justin said, I understood what was happening when it was happening. It was his body language. It didn't make me uncomfortable, but I noticed it. Now that I believe all these, but this doesn't make me think, the guy was doing anything else other than, I don't know.
I guess he didn't realize that was the same guy from The Boy in the
There's
Plastic
a big difference
Bubble.
between this and the guy that
He might have went down. He might have gave him what he wanted.
Getting a
if he knew.
massage and he was grabbing his junk. There's a big difference between that and do I have kids? Just blow me now and get it over with. Jesus.
I think Joel Gray coming out at 82, but Travolta might go that route at 82 years old.
He'll finally come out.
Travolta might go, listen.
Was Joel Gray ever married?
Yeah, the kid, Jennifer Gray. Jennifer Gray, the actress.
That's right.
From, what's she, Dirty Dancing.
And
that's his kid.
He didn't
Dancing
adopt
with the
her?
Stars.
And he's got
12.
he's got a son too, I believe. Does he have a son, Dan?
I'm checking.
You know him from the meetings, right?
I hear he has 2 lapdogs.
I was once hit on by a gay guy.
You
You
were
said this a
not.
couple of times.
This I'd like to
I
hear.
thought you said
Who was
multiple-
married?
I thought you said multiple times you were hit.
One just registered in my
We
brain.
have tape of
as
you
I'm
getting
hearing
hit
it.
on by a gay guy. We
Can
have
we
tape
play
of it.
that? Oh, the timing.
I'm dying to hear this.
Here's Joe.
I got you. Where's Art?
Wait, here's tape. Here's tape of Joe getting hit on by a gay guy.
That's the other one. That's the last one.
Hello, Joe. Hello.
That should be Artie's new
But everyone gets hit
ringer
on by
his
gay
phone.
guys. You think like That was the one time in your life you got hit on my.
Yeah, I thought this one was happened quite a bit.
But this one was uncomfortable because I just remembered it because I was
aggressively.
I aggressively hit on, and I was young, and he was my boss. I just remembered it.
I need more.
Why don't we get you? Well, you want to get more specific? The guy's going to sue us.
I was this. No, he won't. This guy. I don't know where he is now. I remember. I'm not.
Yeah, where he is now. He's probably.
It's going to sound
gay. Is he one of the
gay.
black subscribers?
I think I was 17, and he was like, I worked at this place stocking shelves, and it was like, this is going to sound really gay. The store was called Cosmetique.
What
it was all cosmetics and shit, and I was
how'd
a
you get
stock.
that
Then
job?
why are you there?
It was down the street from my house. I took the job.
You don't. Well, then I'm siding with this guy already.
Yeah.
What are you doing there if you're
Sounds
not
pretty
gay?
right?
Yeah, Joe. Here's the thing.
I was working at all the cock you can take in the ass, and the boss, for some reason, would come in and hit on me. So you know what I did? I took my assless chaps, I slammed them on the mechanical bull, and I left. I left because I won't put up with it. I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not a piece of meat.
Gino does have a point.
That's hilarious.
You're working at Cosmetique.
Where does he get the balls?
I mean, the guy's got his cock out while you're stocking shelves, and he's like, "Am I the guy who's out of line?"
And this is back in
exactly.
This is back in '82 when everyone had those OP shorts that were like a fucking inch above your fucking. I don't know.
Did everybody?
Other
Joe?
penis?
Remember those fucking
other penis? Your other penis shorts.
I got lightheaded.
No one had those shorts. What do you mean everyone had them? Where they were like, what do you mean?
In style, the shorts, if you watch basketball
Yeah, they
in the
were
80s.
in style,
shorter
like Cosmetique.
shorts. Cosmetique.
The
Fenway. What's the Fenway?
It's like
no, that's what I said.
It's like you tell this whole story. You're like, oh, by the way, it was in a place called Cosmetique.
Yeah.
This
then why are we
guy,
wasting our time?
man.
If he didn't hit on you, he was probably lazy.
If John
Jesus
Travolta's
Christ.
acting career did not work out, he'd probably be managing Cosmetique.
Did I mention I was stocking glitter on my balls?
But tell
and
me,
the guys
tell
are
the
looking at
story.
me.
really enjoy getting shit on that I gave that information.
But tell the story. With this in the background. Tell us. No, tell it what happened. How did he hit on you?
I'm multiplying. Please shut that music
Just
off.
tell how he hit on you,
The
please.
Grease soundtrack. In
Yeah,
the
what did he
background.
do?
So he had an office in the back, and he called me back there, and I remember he had there was high steps to his.
Yeah.
There was high steps to his desk.
Does Joe want a promotion?
I came up there, and he goes, "You got nice legs." And I went, "Thank you."
Of course
I didn't know what to say.
Of course you did.
And I was like, is he hitting on me? Like it startled me because I was
Well, let me ask you
17.
this.
I
Was
never
he-
had that happen.
Was
Joe,
he
there
in
were
any
people-
way overtly effeminate? Was he like...
Oh, he was super effeminate, but he had
well,
he had
what else is-
a wife and kids.
Yeah,
Same
but-
situation.
right.
He was definitely.
There are people that stock the bubble bath, Joe, and people that work in the office ordering it.
Do you think all guys that talk like that are gay, or do you think some aren't?
I think
No, they're all gay.
I think you're born gay. And
Right.
Agreed.
that's the greatest argument for you can't, bash gay people in any way because it's like bashing someone for being black, white, or anything. You're born that way.
Right.
You're born. I feel in some sense they need a better sense of humor because I'm all for goofing on everybody. But like politicians and church groups who seriously try to make legislature and laws against violence against them is just like being mad at someone for being black or white.
No,
you're
totally
born
agree.
gay. So
I
I
have
think
I don't have a
if
problem
you're
with it.
no, I know. I'm just saying. I'm answering your question. I think if you do have that effeminate thing, you probably are. I mean, on some level, or you're suppressing it. You know, and a lot of people have to go through that hell too of suppressing
It's
it.
funny when you're in those where guys overcompensate and they have that voice, but they're like, "Hey, this football game," and just like weird when you're in those conversations.
Well, that guy who wrote
I sound like such a homophobic asshole right now.
No, you don't. You sound.
I
you
don't.
You're making a point.
Okay.
You're making a point. 'cause
Look, we
those
all
people-
miss our boss at Cosmetique.
That guy Norm used to do a bit. I think he did a sketch on SNL. It was great about the guy who wrote "Men Are From Venus, Women Are From Mars," whatever the fuck that book is.
Yeah.
About he was like seemed like one of those guys where he would say, "We men like our Monday evening football." Instead of night, he'd say evening, like those little things, like the Fenway.
I just thought of one. You could probably find this on YouTube. There's a video when you first have a kid and everyone either has it or you give it to new parents called the oh geez, the best kid on the block, best behaved kid
Sparkling
on the block,
Wiggles.
something like that. And the guy who's giving you instructions how to teach your kid into being the best kid on the block is the most effeminate guy I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking
Here's
kidding
how
me.
you're the best kid on the block.
Yeah.
If you blow the neighbor.
He's teaching you how to get your kid to like how to swaddle a baby. And like
how to swaddle a baby.
It's hilarious.
How to swaddle a baby?
Safest kid on the block. So are you trying to? Are you actually searching? It's something on the block.
Flippin's good, man. He found.
He'll have it in a
He's
second.
amazing.
Can
I'm
you
a big
find
fan.
him?
Yeah, he just found that other thing real quick. He found Mike Schmidt in a jiffy. So he's good. He's good at finding gay guys.
He's got it all bookmarked. Did you find it?
No, I can't find it. We'll have to look for it during the break.
Is there any way we could play Mike Schmidt and Dan talking to the dog over each other?
That would be amazing.
Don't put me next to Mike Schmidt.
Hey, we should all be so goddamn lucky.
Listen.
Most home runs in Wrigley Field by an opposing player. I
He
can't
was
stand it.
Jack.
Here we go. Ready?
Some 18 years ago, I left Dayton, Ohio
I'm already laughing.
with two very bad
can't wait.
knees.
Was.
And a dream to become a Major League Baseball player. I thank God that dream came true.
Walk away. However, he leaves behind.
You are not paying James Flippin enough.
Oh, that
whatever
is
it is.
great.
Oh my
That is
God.
good stuff.
That's beautiful.
All right, we are going to take a break. That was a lot of fun. And by the way, I have the rights to the Fat Fag, so don't try to steal it. And
Damn
if you
it.
play more than 7 notes of that, I will sue your ass.
Damn it.
Gino Bisconte sitting in. Joe Matarese still getting over being viciously hit on at Cosmetique.
Cosmetique.
How long did you work at Cosmetique for?
I have a bad memory. I quit every job fast, and that one, I think I might have worked there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Why would you leave? The
I must have
benefits.
enjoyed it.
Yes.
That's how low my self-esteem. Oh, I used to do another joke about that. You know your self-esteem is low when you'll let a gay guy hit on you a little longer than normal. You're
Well,
like,
yeah,
you
want-
got really
you want
nice
the-
legs.
I think
Do
I would.
I'd run
I
with
think
it.
I
Really?
would. Yeah, I think
It
I would.
actually feels
I used
good.
to bartend in again Wilmington, Delaware, and I had a bunch of gay guys that would come in. I loved it. Loved it.
Wilmington, Delaware. Wilmington, Delaware sounds like a town gay people leave.
No, they're not leaving there.
No, really?
It's right near Rehoboth.
You sound like you're going to eat the dog.
That was them. This is an average shift for me. I would like a scotch, and then they would just roll into that.
Who wants to go to Cosmetique? Who wants to go to Cosmetique? Does someone want to go with Uncle Danny to Cosmetique? We're going to go on the shelf at Cosmetique. Ooh, Uncle Joe's working there.
But
Uncle Joe's too working there at Cosmetique.
It's a little illegal to take your young under.
A little?
I must have been 16, and he like brought me up, told me I had nice legs. Is that a
little? You
is
were
that
of
against the
age.
law?
You were, let's go arrest his
Is
ass
that a
right
hit,
now.
or is that just a compliment? You have nice legs.
You need more than that, I think.
Yes.
You need more than
You're at Cosmetique.
Anyway, the big story, John Travolta hits on a guy at a gym at 3 a.m. The bigger story, John Travolta doesn't have his own gym in his 750, 4 757s and no
Shouldn't
gym.
have bought that last fighter jet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Probably could have got a jump rope instead.
Why did I buy that last country? And again, how does John Travolta have so much money?
It also says in the picture he took his toupee off to work out.
Of course.
And I don't know if how you feel on this, but like Travolta looks better without his toupee on. He looks fucking retarded with that wig on.
The new wig, I agree with you completely, that he's had on in the last few movies. He looks like a sinister. He's too pale.
It's weird
He's got to
looking.
get some color in his face or get a different wig. He looks sinister.
What's wrong with
Looks like
being fucking bald a little bit?
He
What
looks
is the
like-
problem?
he
I
looks
don't
like a-
understand when people do
He
that.
looks like a clown in just the base white makeup.
Yeah, like I saw what's his name? Who's the guy in Birdman? Michael Keaton on Letterman, and like he's got thinning hair, and he looks great.
I don't know. Well,
he looks
great.
old.
He looks odd.
But you do? You think he
He's
looks
one
odd?
of
He
those
looks
guys who
good.
should have died when he was 38.
For his own good, for his own good.
Yeah, well, I mean, like what would Belushi have looked like now, or Jimi Hendrix? Probably like me.
I always think of Woody Harrelson and like who's the other
Balding.
guy that shaves his head? Woody Harrelson and
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. What's wrong with fucking
Bruce
going bald?
Willis?
They're fine.
Love Bruce Willis.
Kept himself in good shape, and easy there, Dan Filano. By the way,
It's gonna sound
Bruce
gay.
Willis, you're so cute.
I got a text from Tan Filato, the funniest thing. He goes, I'm not butt fucking as much these days. I'm concentrating on tanning. That's a tweet Tan Filato said. I'm not butt fucking as much these days. I'm concentrating on tanning. All right. We're going to take a break. We come back. We'll get the great Craig Gass on the phone.
Love
Great
Craig
comedian. He's out in Seattle. He's a huge Seahawks fan. He's from Seattle. So he's out in Phoenix. He's got full media credentials, and he's asking ridiculous questions. What did he ask someone on the Patriots?
Tom Brady, right?
Seahawks player was.
He asked Tom Brady who his
He
favorite
asked
Seahawks.
Tom
you
Brady
said.
as Sam Kinison. That would be good.
Oh, I got to see that.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
I wish he did. He does. Gass didn't do it as Sam.
Tell him to do that. He'll do it for
He'll
you.
do it. Just you'll be Tom
Well,
Brady.
yeah, I know, but he's got to do it with the real Tom Brady. I like to hear that. But so Gass got into media day. Look at this motherfucker.
Well, he was on the sideline for the game last year.
I know.
Like he's
he's a big Seahawks guy, and they all know him because he's a comic that the weasels way into shit, but he does it good. He's funny. I love Gass, so he's going to join us in the next segment and talk about Seahawks and what it's like being out there in Phoenix. I've been to the last 3 Super Bowls in a row, and I must say it's fun for a little while, but I'm glad I'm watching it on TV this year. I really am. Take a break. Fun first segment. Gino Piscante sitting in. Matarese back. Cotton back at his winter enclosure. Those are the headlines. Back with more Artie Quitter after this. Hey, welcome back to the Artie Quitter podcast. My next guest is a great friend of mine. We were just talking about how talented this motherfucker is. One of the best comics. I love him. Does impressions, tells great stories, and he's a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, and he's officially our correspondent out there. He's got a lot of credentials, maybe every credential. He was at Media Day, and he's our good friend, Greg Gass. Greg, what's up, man?
No, man, it's exciting to be on the phone with Artie Lang, the all-time phone number champion in my cell phone, with a combined total of 14 phone numbers.
Did he change it again? He's got another one?
That's what happens when you know Gino.
Yeah,
when you know Gino Piscante.
When somebody gets a new phone number in my phone, I just add it and I just write like Dan Filato new, and I'll just write new. Artie has Artie, Artie new. Artie newest, Artie really new, and then there's a couple that says Artie promises this is new, Artie swears this is new, and then Artie newest ever. Then I had to start going Artie newest number 1, and then Artie newest number 2. I had to come up with a whole new system to keep adding these numbers.
Well, listen, I like to keep people on their toes.
Yeah, and the best part about it is I get text messages now from other people with your phone numbers. Dan's texting me from one of the Artie new numbers.
Oh, I don't okay that. That could be a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But listen, I when you know nefarious people, sometimes you have to keep on the run.
Sure, believe me when I tell you that I absolutely get that.
Yes, so you're out in Seattle, a big Seahawks fan. You were at Media Day. Give us some highlights, brother. What's going on out there?
Well, I've been pretty gay about the Seahawks for over 20 years.
I know, my God. You're back to Jim Zorn days.
Yeah, and for me, it's been tough because every time I talk to someone like Artie about sports, I'm not even involved in the conversation because I don't. There's no participation. My teams haven't done anything, so I'm living through a real golden era right now of seeing my team actually compete. It's so crazy because now there's like all these fans. They refer to them as the 12th man. I've been a fan since I literally was the 12th man in the kingdom. I was the 12th man. My buddy Jason was the 13th man in the stadium.
I can vouch for that. You are a true fan, man.
Yeah, so it's really weird. There was, and I'm not joking when I say this. For the longest time, the password to my email was Rick Myrer is fucking killing me. That was the password to my email.
Well,
so being able to go to having a relationship with the Seahawks and having them hook me up with stuff is crazy. So yeah, I was at Media Day yesterday, and I'm just trying to be goofy. I think as a comic, I'm hoping to hit a moment that could even come close to what Artie did when he actually became a news event a few years ago. And I remember seeing the video. I don't even think Artie expected that to happen. The look on Artie's face was like, holy shit, I can't believe he's saying this. When you asked a guy just like in jest, you asked a guy about how he felt about homosexuals, right?
Well, I know I said, are there any gay guys on the 49ers? And this kid, again, you want to try to go for the younger guys with that who might not be as media savvy. He was a young kid. But no one could have predicted the rant he went on. My God, it changed. It was for a while the number one most talked about story, and then someone got injured, so it was the second most talked about story of the week. And it got a lot of. But again, I worked for DirecTV, and DirecTV was great to me. I worked there for 3 years. I did my contract basically for the most part, and I left. But I thought. This is where you're not on the same page as your bosses. I thought they'd be ecstatic about that attention, but DirecTV is in bed with the NFL, and they did not like that attention. I don't think they were a conservative company, and I was like, all right, I guess, we're not going to last because I go for the jugular with edgy shit like that, and they didn't want that. But it was fun to get that attention because it's hard to do. But well, what's your take on Marshawn Lynch, man? You're a fan, maybe you're biased. Give us do you know him well personally, or what's the deal?
No, I'm not biased. I mean, I'm torn between, is he an asshole and should he play along, or do we have any right in saying, come on, you do what we want you to do? I mean, I don't know. I see both sides of it, and I guess for me, the ultimate argument could be, listen, when there's certain things you agree to do, and we all have to do shit to make a living. There's shit that we don't like doing, and we all have to do this shit in order to make a living, and these are the one of the things you're expected to do. But on the other side of it, and I don't know if it's a cop-out, but he's just had some bad experiences, and he just doesn't want to give them anything to hang him with.
Right.
So,
what are the bad experiences he's had? That's gotten lost in the shuffle. What exactly does he bring it up? Were they so obvious that we would know just by being casual fans? What problem did he get into with the media where he does this?
I don't know. There's some guys I know who just suspect that maybe he's not very articulate and doesn't want to look bad, but there's some videos that just came out. He just put out a couple of things with like some I think progressive a Skittles commercial,
right?
Where he actually comes off as funny and articulate, and he has a sense of timing. And so I don't know. It's never been pointed to like this is the moment that really pissed him off. There is no one moment that's come out, but I know people who know him who say, man, if you ever know that guy, like other players have said, honestly, he's like one of the funniest guys on the planet. He would love you, and it's like, but he doesn't trust anybody. I think you can relate to this as a comic, Artie. When things start going really well for you, for no good reason, it seems, suddenly a lot of people in the business want to be your friend.
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's weird. It's awkward, especially when you're...
I'm sitting with two of them right now.
Hey, buddy.
Right.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing? What are we doing after this, pal?
It's a nice shirt, Artie. I like your shirt.
I like
no,
that.
go ahead. I understand. Go ahead.
Coffee's delicious.
Yeah, so it's weird when you've always been in a position where nobody gives a shit about you and nobody wants anything to do with you.
I know that too, yeah.
And then suddenly everybody wants to be your friend. So I think he's just really cautious. He doesn't trust anybody. He's from Oakland. He's from the inner city. So he's just very standoffish, and he has yet to come around on that. I don't know if that's going to change, but I got to tell you this: I appreciate the fact that he's willing to run into a fucking brick wall for my team.
Oh,
because
of course, he's a great player. Great player.
He's going to probably be retarded at 45.
Why? Because the way he plays, he's head first. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to do well in about 10 years. So thank God there's somebody on the team that plays like that.
No, I mean, listen, there's no question the guy's a great player, but you made the point that Joe was making earlier, too, and I think Gino agrees, although I didn't understand what Gino said. That I think he pretends to be not media savvy, maybe, and uptight and everything, but secretly he really is, and he's playing it like a fiddle. If that's the case, get over yourself and give a decent interview. And you're right. As comics, we all got to do this shit. None of us like getting up to do the fucking yuck show in St. Louis to promote a gig at the Funny Bone. But, sometimes you have to. And I'm the worst. Like you talk about going from, I didn't have to do any of that on Howard because I would just plug it once on Stern. And Greg, you know this better than anybody because you were a regular on that show too.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say to the club guys, don't think I'm getting up early. I gave you a plug on the biggest show on the planet in the morning. But after, before that and after I left Stern, all of a sudden they're like, well, no, we want you to get up again. So, and you got to bite the bullet. So I don't know. I just think I agree with you in the sense that secretly he's probably a funny, articulate guy, and he's playing us all for a fiddle.
Yeah, he doesn't cooperate on any fucking level.
Not here.
Yeah, I've seen him out at. I go to game. I book a lot of my shows around the country so I can try to get to Seahawk games on the road. I've been doing that for 10 years, and I've noticed during warm-ups, the team will come out, and as a unit, they will do all the stretches at the same time. And Marshawn will be off to the side doing some weird thing, and then and he doesn't. And then they'll do the drills where they throw a pass to the guy, he catches it, comes back, throws it to somebody else, gets back in line, go again. And Marshawn will catch one pass, throw it up in the air, and run off the field.
Do you think he's mentally ill? I think he might be mentally ill on some level.
Asperger's, maybe.
I think that there's definitely a possibility that that could be an issue. He might be a little kooky in that way. But here's the crazy thing, though. He also has this incredibly warm heart, and he's really active in charity. And I mean, it's a no bullshit thing that he's always thinking about these charities that he wants to do, and he'll show up for charities and hang out with kids for hours and talk to them.
Right. Oh no, I listen. I'm not arguing he might be a good guy, a bad guy.
Right.
I'm just saying it's just an odd situation. But again, he wins. We're talking about him, and the Patriots probably love him because he took all the attention away from Deflategate. You don't hear about it anymore. You just hear about Marshawn Lynch. Something else. I'll get into that later. I want to throw it to Joe Matarese because Joe said something interesting during the commercial.
He did?
What was that?
Richard Sherman. Joe claims to hate Richard Sherman more than anybody for some reason, more than Marshawn Lynch. Ask Greg your thoughts about your thoughts on that.
I just think he's too much of a showboater. That's all.
Backs it up, man.
I don't care about backing it up or not. I'm a big fan of one of my favorite football players of all time. And I'm the same way with boxers. I don't like the guy who's fucking talks shit. I really don't.
I've always been a blue collar guy. I root for Hagler over Sugar Ray.
I love Joe Frazier more than Muhammad Ali.
When did Richard Sherman talk shit? After he put up and shut down Michael Crabtree, and then Michael Crabtree pushed him in the face, and then they jammed a mic into his face?
I see what Joe's saying. What kind of a guy is Sherman? Do you know him at all?
Well, first off, I just got to say, because I love that you have Joe in
tell
there.
him I said that.
I want to say that Joe, I think Joe got screwed on America's Got Talent.
Oh, thank you.
Let's get back.
He also got screwed at Cosmetique years before that, but you weren't listening to that.
They tried to screw him. Well, what do you think? What do you think? The editing, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it kind of bummed me out that they framed him in that way. But about Sherman, the first I ever even heard of the guy. Here's the thing. I personally get bummed out, and it's the reason why I'm not a Yankee fan, even though I grew up in Mount Vernon. It bums me out when there's something related to the organization that's just really negative. And for me, when I was a kid, I just saw a lot of drunk guys fighting each other in Yankee Stadium.
Right.
And I was of the era that Artie
Dad took you to a lot of games?
Yeah, I went to a lot of games as a kid. Yankee Stadium was 10 miles from my place. So when I hear that there's somebody on the Seahawks that's an asshole, it bums me out because I think, man, I can't root for that. I can't fucking root for that. But I heard 2 years ago that there's this guy who was caught talking shit to Tom Brady that got picked up in social media, and I got bummed out when I heard about it until I heard the rest of the story, which was that Brady was talking shit to Sherman, and it all started with Brady saying, "Come see me after the game. Just, hey, when this is all done, just come see me. I want to hear what you have to say after the game." And the Seahawks beat him, and then Sherman came right up to Brady as he was walking out the field and said, "Hey, bro, you told me to come see you. You mad? You mad, bro? What's going on? You mad? You mad?" And then I realized, all right, okay, that's actually kind of funny to me. And I wanted to judge him, and then I realized that it was actually comeuppance for the shit the shit talking that Brady was doing to Sherman. And as a kid, I was a Muhammad Ali fan, and I know that my grandparents had some choice words for Muhammad Ali. They did not like him, you know, because in that era, it didn't look well to have a black guy talking smack, saying I'm the greatest, and history has gone in Muhammad Ali's favor. I think that history is going to go in Sherman's favor too, because he plays really well and he's really good at his position. So I I personally, once I was ready to judge him, and I was ready to go, fuck, I don't know if I can root for the Seahawks with an asshole on my team. Then when I heard the rest of the story, I was like, that's actually pretty cool. And another educated kid who goes back and does a lot of charity work in his hometown as well.
Yeah, Craig. Gino Bisconti, first time, long time. If I can add to that story, because we've had this conversation. My brother is also a huge Seahawks fan. I could rattle off names like Kenny Easley and Fred Young.
Well, first of all, it does sound like Gass's grandparents had the same nickname for Ali. My grandparents had. Which was, of course...
You would be right, Artie.
Ungrateful moon cricket.
Moon cricket.
Which is pronounced in Italian, moulignon.
No, go ahead.
But on that, and this is what I was just saying to Joe, and I think you'll agree, Richard Sherman, and this is coming from a Charger fan who's used to seeing terrible, lackluster defenses that can't talk smack because they can't back it up. Richard Sherman will say something that no one notices, and he'll say it very matter-of-factly, like that, it's like, look, I think we can beat them, blah, blah, blah. And no one notices because they're all focused on the media darling that is Tom Brady. And you'll remember that game. New England should have won that game. They were winning like with 3 minutes left, and one of the receivers beat a Patriot cornerback deep. So it's just like Tom Brady was in that interview, just everyone shoving a mic into it. So it's like, what happened? What happened? And that's when Richard Sherman, who no one paid attention to, saying, we can beat this team. We are at that level now. That was the coming of age time for the Seahawks. And they catch him going, you mad, bro? Because all Tom Brady did was treat him like a nobody, going, why don't you talk to me after the game? But all people that aren't media savvy notice is him saying, you mad, bro? And like, this guy's an animal. Same thing we were talking about.
There's more to
Same
every
thing we're
story.
talking about with Crabtree when he says Crabtree's not a good receiver, and Crabtree is not a good receiver. Colin Kaepernick is a punk. And this is just a fact. And then Sherman makes the biggest play of his career.
This is Gino not on coke.
Doing everything he said he would do, and Crabtree pushes him in the face, so he's all heated. Aaron Andrews puts him in the face, and he goes, yeah, and he screams, and he even apologized a couple days later but all people
because he scared Aaron Andrews to death.
How about when Aaron goes, what did the bad man say to you? She didn't say bad one. But I'm siding with Gas. I'm sorry to cut you off, buddy. But Sherman is just a guy that doesn't talk smack. He backs up what he says, but he gets crap because of how he is.
All right.
No, I think you did sway me. You did sway me.
Gino nailed it. He's absolutely right. The first that anyone, including me, and I'm a Seahawks fan, I didn't know anything about that guy until that Tom Brady moment, and that really was the coming of age. Like, wait a minute, who is this guy? Because the Seahawks, Seattle sports fans are not used to having anyone with an attitude or a personality that stands out so much that the media grabs onto it. So I had an adverse reaction when I first heard about this guy talking shit to Tom Brady so much that it caught everybody's attention until I heard the rest of the story. And I was always a fan not only of Muhammad Ali, I was a big fan of Charles Barkley when he played basketball.
I love Barkley. I still do, yeah.
Barkley would get under somebody's skin, and I'd watch him play, and I would notice that he would get under somebody's skin until someone just had a fucking meltdown and took a swing at him on the court, and then the referees wouldn't catch anything except for the swing, and then Barkley would go, what's going on?
Right.
He would just,
Rodman was like that. Yeah, Rodman had the same.
I love that. And Barkley said something years ago that shocked me. In today's day and age, Barkley would have never gotten away with this. But 20 years ago, the first Dream Team, Charles Barkley did an interview here in Phoenix with other members of the Dream Team where they had the international press in front of him, and one of the members of the international press was from China, and they asked Charles Barkley a question in a really bad accent, and Charles Barkley paused and said, ching chong, ching chong chong, and everybody laughed, and he would have gotten killed for that today.
If I can run with this, Charles Barkley, your fandom of Seattle and the Seahawks, I love Charles Barkley to this day because he still comes out and speaks his mind and speaks it intelligently. He was the one that when the Seahawks, and this is another reason that I love your Seahawks getting one, when the whole thing with Percy Harvin went on, and this is how when comics say something, and I talked about this with Artie before the show, how comics say something that's brilliant and addresses race, people get all nervous. But when other idiots say something so veiled and blatantly racist, no one notices. When Russell Wilson and Percy Harvin had the coming apart, and everyone's like, well, he's not black enough to run the locker room. Charles Barkley comes out and says there will always be crabs in the barrel that rather than lift themselves up, try to pull other people down. But the reason they were saying he wasn't black enough, Russell Wilson, because he was dating white women. Percy Harvin was black enough. They were saying, and I'm sorry, correct me if you think I'm wrong, because he was a thug who was punching his teammates like Golden Tate. And they sit there and say these dumb things. Yet, you know what's bizarre? Since they got rid of Percy Harvin and went back to the offense that they used all year last year, except in the Super Bowl when they used Harvin, they have won their last 8 games and are averaging 27 points a game, holding their opponents to under 10. Yet no one goes back and addresses the fact that what they were saying was, that's racist to say if Russell Wilson was blacker, this never would have happened. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and you nailed the stats too. Everything has changed since then, and I think it's one of those things where the Seahawks don't get credit, and people don't think that they're capable because they haven't been on everybody's radar. But Gino's paying attention to the numbers that they're putting up, which is only Seahawk fans seem to be noticing, and they don't get the respect until they start making a couple appearances in the Super Bowl, and then people start noticing them more. It's the same thing when Tom Brady first came on the scene and made it to his first Super Bowl. He's a pretty boy that he was like, people just went, but he did it so many times. He made it to the Super Bowl so many times that people think of him as this machine, and they respect him more. And I think that will happen in time with more appearances in the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. Should they, this one helps their credibility more than now that they're back in the Super Bowl. If they win, there's a whole young generation out there who want to be Russell Wilson. When you're 12 years old and the best team in a sport is dominating the game, you at 12 you just want to be a fan of that team, and so there's going to be a whole generation of kids who are going to be Seahawk fans because they're either good kids like Russell Wilson or they're fucked up kids like Marshawn.
Well, maybe. I'm going to give Joe Matarese a chance to talk. Joe, go ahead.
I don't remember what I was even going to say.
You were going to say something. You said you had a point to make.
What I did
about Richard Sherman.
I think he was going to ask his boss from Cosmetique.
Oh, I know what it was. Because I agree with you guys now, and you turned me on. I feel bad that I said something about Richard Sherman because you can be very overly competitive on a field, and to the point where you might act a little asshole-ish, and then be like kind of a regular person. Like, because I can remember I used to play baseball and stuff, and I used to get so fucking crazy on the field. I can remember throwing guys out at first and giving the finger as I threw the ball.
Well, you were an angry guy. But
I was aggressive. But then afterwards, I would have hung out with you. We could have had a couple of beers or whatever. So, to say what I said about Richard Sherman, he did some. That brings me to the other side when you said he donates his time, he shows up at things, and he gives back to the community. That is huge, and I am a fan of players that do stuff like that.
He said,
"Yeah," and I
say do.
I typically want to take that side when I hear that someone is a loudmouth, but the more, and I'm a Seahawks fan, and it almost made me think, because I have heard about guys that are on the team that I thought, fuck, and I kind of back off a little bit because I know from my friends who work with the team that there's a certain guy on the team who's just an asshole. He's just a fucking caveman. He's an asshole, and it makes it hard for me to root for the team. There was a guy who played for the Mariners named Milton Bradley who
I remember him
attacked his wife with a fucking baseball bat, and I just thought I can't root for this fucking team. I can't do it. Not if that asshole is on the team. And as soon as he was shipped off, it was like, all right, I'm going back to paying attention to the team again. That's how strongly I feel about assholes. But Sherman, as it turns out, if you just go a little further than scratching the surface, he actually has there's a lot to like there, but he does have a big mouth, which is what gets him all his attention.
But
he's on the box for the Madden 2015, so he must be doing something right. He's a marquee player.
Well, what about let's get on to the Deflategate just a little bit, because there's shreds of it still left out there in the media. This kid, they supposedly have an equipment kid on video taking 25 balls, whatever it is, into a bathroom. He's in there for 90 seconds. He's good, man. In 90 seconds, he deflates these balls exactly the way Tom Brady wants them and comes back out.
I can't empty 2 of my bowls in 90
well,
seconds.
I'm saying you're out there. Hold for laugh.
Thanks for getting that.
Hold for laugh.
Thank you.
You're out there. What's the temperature like with Deflategate now? And do you think the Pats are going to just let this kid get hung out to dry? There's evidence against this guy. Is there any way the kid does it on his own? Come on. What do you think about all this?
No, I think it's hilarious that they show this young kid and the title card on the bottom of the screen says NFL looking for this person of interest.
Person of interest. Yeah.
And, I mean, it scares me to think of how many times I've walked out of a sporting event and dipped into a bathroom alone for 90 seconds, what I was doing for 90 seconds. And I'm so glad that nobody was paying attention to me and whatever was in my small pocket of my jeans.
Sometimes you were having sex with a chick who looked like Bill Belichick.
I'm grateful that nobody paid attention to me, but I think for the most part, people are sick and tired of talking about it. But as a Patriots fan, my heart goes out to you. I don't know that I have a strong feeling either way, but my heart goes out to you because this is going to be with you for the rest of your life as a Patriots fan. No matter if they win the next 5 Super Bowls in a row, the Patriots, they will still have that tag of being like, but did they do it fairly? So you're going to have to deal with that as a Patriots fan the rest of your life. It's going way beyond this weekend. So, but I don't know if I have a strong feeling either way. I mean, I just think it's been, people are just tired of talking about it.
If Seattle loses as a fan, would you really feel like you were cheated?
No, exactly. Honest to God.
Exactly. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. If it was any other team.
I'm a guy that when my team gets beat by somebody who beats people all the time, I really do feel like it's an honor. I was on the
That's what Janae Rice said.
I was on the field in Minnesota when Brett Favre made his comeback, and he destroyed my Seahawks. I'm on the field watching him destroy them. It was like 48-10. He just beat the fuck out of them, and I just laughed about it, and I just said, "Man, fucking Brett Favre, what a son of a!" I got a huge kick out of it. It's like. And if Tom Brady killed my team, it would be like, wow, you know what? I got to see Tom Brady kill my team. If it was, I'd have a different feeling if it was a newer guy. If it was like, say, that guy Andrew Luck. Yeah, if it was Andrew Luck, I'd be a little more resentful about it. But Tom Brady's he's a legend.
He's a classy guy too. He is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, you don't know.
Is there any way we could get you to pin down that ball boy and in your Sam Kinison voice scream, "Did you do it? Say it.
Yeah.
Say it." How great would that be?
I know that. I know you want to say these balls are fine.
I love this.
And I wish I could say that too. I wish I could, but unfortunately, I was there. I wasn't like you guys just having fun in the bathroom for 90 seconds. I was there. You were blowing these balls. Say it. Say it.
The kid would give it up in 2 seconds.
That's great.
That is.
I want the assist on that. I asked him to do it.
Calm down, Bisconti wants an assist.
Assist?
The Rajon Rondo. No,
were you guys watching the game on Sunday?
I'm probably going to be. I mean, it's funny. I was at the last 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because of working for DirecTV. I've been to 4 total. I went to one in Miami as a spectator in '99, Falcons and
Broncos.
Broncos. Yeah, that was Horgate when the guy in the Falcons got a hooker.
Eugene Robinson.
Yeah, Eugene Robinson. And then last 3, I had full media credentials for the last 3. And like you said, made a splash in New Orleans with the gay gate. So I'm going to probably lay low. I may do a portion of Monday's show. A portion of Monday's podcast might be me watching the game with all my picks. I will let you guys know tomorrow on the podcast for sure what my picks are. I will be putting at least 2 dimes because I'm going in with a $10,000 cushion on the coin toss. I'll let you know.
I want to say
which team?
I'm happy you got your own thing where you have total freedom to do what you want to do.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've been excited ever since I heard about it, and I hope I can join you in the studio and do it right next to you someday.
Anytime, man, anytime. Listen, I apologize. I went to the hospital. Me and Gas supposed to do some Seattle gigs. I would still love to do that, man. I'm coming to San Francisco. I'm at Cobb's February 20th and the 21st.
Okay.
If you're around, you want to come down to a guest set or talk, I don't know where you're going to be, but let's get those Seattle dates going. Let's do a theater. I would love to, Greg.
And you know what? I know a couple guys in the Seahawks front office that are dying for you to get up there. So I just did my shows out there. A really funny thing happened. I don't want to get too serious, but there's a local kid in Seattle who, I don't know if you heard the story, he's a comedian who actually got attacked on stage by a fucking lunatic.
No, what happened? What happened?
This really nice kid, his name's Dylan, Dylan Avila. He's a local comedian in Seattle who runs a couple open mics. And a lunatic showed up a couple of times, and he would put his name on the sign-up list as Jesus Christ. And he was
red flag.
JC.
Yeah, the guy's crazy. He's just batshit crazy. And then finally, the kid just said to him, and it's not something that happens often at an open mic, but this kid felt strongly enough that he said, "Listen, man, you got to stop coming here. This isn't working out. You're making everybody uncomfortable every time you come here." The next week, the kid goes on stage to start the open mic, and this fucking guy walked in with an aluminum baseball bat, one clean shot right in his face.
Holy
Boom.
shit!
And then as he went down, another clean shot on his skull.
Wait, this happened on stage?
This happened on stage. Another clean shot right in his skull and crushed his skull.
Oh,
and then,
God.
then when he went back for the third swing, all the comedians got on and just beat the shit out of him. I mean, they fucking wailed on him. And if he would have gotten that last shot in, the brain was already like, the skull was already touching the brain. He would have killed the kid. So I did a show. I already scheduled the show. This is the one I wanted to do with Artie in January, and I already scheduled the show. But I took the money from the ticket sales and I gave it to this kid. And one of the guys from the Seattle Mariners walked out on stage with a Mariners batting helmet at the end of his set to give him a batting helmet, which was a really cool move. His name's Rick Riz. He's the voice of the Mariners.
Well, how was the kid? How was the kid, the comic? Is he okay?
Shockingly okay. His when he got hit in the jaw, nothing happened to. He got bruised, but his jaw's okay. None of his teeth were broken, but he got 20 staples on his head, on his skull, and he has an aluminum plate in there now.
Jesus.
And he's all his vital signs. They were checking with him for days. He was fine. And I asked him. I said, "Look, I'm going to give you money either way, but if you want to get on stage." It's a big theater. I know as a comedian you probably want to get on stage. So if you want to get on stage, you can. And he did. And it was a really neat moment. And but fuck, every comic who heard that story it resonated with all of us. You know.
Well, listen. Let's do a couple of shows. If the kid needs money on any level, I'm willing to do a free show, man.
Okay.
That's as a fellow comic. That's like a nightmare. Joe, did you hear about that? Gino knew.
No, I never heard about
that. Was
this.
all viral. I think.
How long ago?
I think that.
Yeah, when did it happen?
About a month ago.
There's
right?
a video of it.
No, there's no video of that.
People talking about it.
It was a month ago.
Listen, Gas, I am totally willing to do a free show if he needs one.
I was on that open mic.
Get something
This
together.
guy get put in jail who hit him?
Oh yeah, they showed him on the local news and
attempted murder.
Attempted murder. He's. I don't think they even gave him any bail. And when he you see his back, and then when he turns off to the side, his whole side of his face is completely puffed up. They fucked that guy up.
Not enough.
Well, listen, Gas. Again, let's talk about doing it, but a couple of shows then maybe. But I'm willing to do a free show for the kid if he needs it. Let me know. Let me know, right, man.
Okay, I'll let you know, and thanks again, and I'm looking forward to joining you guys in the studio.
Real quick, we know you like the Seahawks, but real quick, under/over's 48. So give me what you like under/over at 48 and what the score is going to be when the Seahawks win. We know you're going to pick Seahawks, but give me the score, and we'll know from the score your under/over pick. But go ahead.
You know what? I hope they win. And there's no science to this, but if they do win, I think they would win by a score around 27-24.
It's a good,
to be the final score.
That's a lot of experts. I heard Michael Irvin again today on The Fan, and I think Irvin, he's a good guy. I've gotten to know Irvin a little bit. He gives it up. He's as smart with analogies as anybody. He says it's a field goal game without question. And look, the Pats are given a point, basically a pick 'em. The first half line, I think, is a pick 'em. For the whole game, it's a point. So that's as good a prediction as any, and that makes it right at the under/over too. So you're on the money there. So you're like 27-24 with your Hawks. Good prediction.
Yeah, and I want to say something that you need to pay attention to at the Super Bowl that Seahawks fans have noticed all year long. I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks score all of their points in the second half because they are just an insane second half team. Every game they have been just insane in the second half.
No, the championship game proved that. Have you ever seen Russell Wilson with 4 interceptions? You ever see him that off?
No, it was really. But two of them were just bounces that went Green Bay's way.
No, you're right.
They were
You're right.
they
The
were
one-
Curse's
The
fault.
first one should have been a catch.
And
You're
the
right.
fourth one should have been a catch,
you're
too.
right.
That was even
You're
worse.
right. Yep.
You know what it reminded me of? That game for 2 hours and 50 minutes. I don't know if you. This might be a little too deep. You might not get this, but anyone who's a Kiss fan will get this. But for 2 hours and 50 minutes, it just wasn't the Seahawks. I didn't know who these guys were, and it reminded me of that really shitty movie called Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, where there's a moment where the fake Kiss gets on stage at Magic Mountain, and the fake Kiss is performing, and everyone in the crowd is going, "Who the fuck are these guys?" For a couple hours, like I know this isn't the real Kiss. And then for the last 10 minutes of the game, the real Kiss came in and just fist fucked everybody, like, "Yeah, we're here," and they just that's what it felt like.
Marshawn Lynch is selling shit on his website. He might get fined for selling stuff and promoting it with the hat for his symbol of his shit on his website. If Gene Simmons were doing that for Lynch, how would that sound?
Here's the thing. Everybody, I disagree. I don't know if I agree with how the NFL runs their program, okay? All I know is that Beast Mode apparel is available. It's Kissmas, and it's available at KissOnline.com.
It's Kissmas.
Listen, I don't even get what these black people are into, but I know that if you go to KissOnline.com,
that's perfect.
You can get your Beast Mode. You can get your Ace Frehley gold teeth right now at KissOnline.com.
They're selling everything. Gas, be safe out there. Have a great time. And thanks for calling in. You're amazing. And let's contact Filato. I'll get you my latest, newest Promise It's New number. And we'll get some shows going, especially if we can get a show for that kid. If he truly needs more money, I'm in, man.
You got it. And Gino and Joe, good to talk to you guys, man. I'll see you soon.
Go Hawks.
Good save. Good save time out there. Yeah, where the Kinnison's great, but goddamn, I forget his Gene Simmons.
It's amazing. If you get, we were talking about, I don't want to.
Kissmas.
If you ever get the chance, find the clip when he was on your show, Artie, on DirecTV, talking about when he was pretending
what is
to be.
The story? What is the story?
All I remember is he did a Kiss does cruises or something.
Yeah, of course they do.
And he went on air acting like he was Gene Simmons.
That's what's great about those impressions.
They're so
because
amazing.
it's true. Gene Simmons whores out. And Gene Simmons is a cool guy. I've met him a couple of times. He's open and honest about it. He's like, I'm a businessman, you know.
Oh, and he the other story he told was how Gene Simmons bangs all these hot chicks, but then the next day he'll be seen with a fat. It was all on that one time on your show. I listened like 3 times. I was dying. I was dying. He's so funny.
He really
he's great at those.
It's Gene Simmons from Kiss.
This is Gene Simmons of Kiss. From Kiss.
From Kiss. And he goes like it's somebody else.
From Kiss. I don't know what these black people are into.
All right, we're going to take another break. We're going to come back and real quick, we'll do the plugs, maybe 1 or 2 more stories, and we'll wrap this up on a really fun podcast today. Artie Quitter wrapping it up after this. Hey, welcome back to the Artie Quitter podcast. Gino Bisconti's here.
Hey, buddy.
And, of course, Christopher Cotton back at his winter enclosure. And I feel bad I set up the trap. Joe Matarese back with us. Gino, I don't know if you've heard some of the podcasts. We have a guy who... is this the same guy calling him? He's called him as Derek Jeter. One of the best Derek Jeter impressions you're ever going to hear, especially following Greg Gass. Oh, man. This is his Derek Jeter impression because I've learned to mimic it. I'm not quite as good, but hey, Artie, this is Derek Jeter. Thanks for coming to the games. So, I mean, you know.
Spot on. Was that him?
It's dead on.
Was that Derek Jeter, or are you going to do him in a
sec?
sec?
That was me doing the guy doing a brilliant Derek Jeter.
Oh, okay.
If you want to hear his Derek Jeter, do we have that? This is the master.
How you doing, Artie? It's Derek Jeter, man. How you doing? I just want to congratulate you
the pause is
on your
great.
new podcast, and best of luck. Thanks for coming to the games. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
He wasn't sure if he was going to say his name.
Funny.
Okay, so that's the guy, and still, he's just the phantom impressionist guy. He's left some new ones. He's left about 50 so far.
Wow.
So
someone's unemployed.
Here we go.
Artie, it's Clint Eastwood. I want to direct you in a movie. Actually, a prequel to Beer League. It's going to take place in the 1800s, the Wild West.
What?
Here's what I got so far.
Okay.
You invent the ball and the bat out in some cornfield.
I invent the ball and a bat.
While out there hitting the ball,
It's Young Guns meets Field of Dreams so far.
of an outlaw, one of the baddest outlaws in the plains. That outlaw gets pissed, and he challenges you to a duel, a shootout the next day. The thing is, you never shot a gun in your life, but you ain't no pussy.
He's starting to
So you
sound
go
like
to
Clint
that.
Eastwood.
You go to the duel, and you go like a man with the bat and ball. When that outlaw stands across from you with two guns on his side, ready to shoot you, you throw that ball in the air, and you hit it with the bat and kill him with a line drive right to the
You
forehead.
gave away the ending.
You
I'm
become a
storyboarding
hero,
it right now.
and baseball is now America's #1 game. Let me know what you think. Bye.
Bye.
It would look
If,
like
by the way, if someone was in show business and knew the storyboarding reference, that would have been a funny joke.
I'm storyboarding it. That's
I'm
funny.
storyboarding it right now.
The
So
best
that-
is what you're drawing. They're drawing these stick figures.
One
on
guy's
a piece
got
of
a bowl.
paper.
Is Clint Eastwood sounds like it's Kathleen Turner.
To me, a prequel to Beer League. I mean, you should be in Little League or something.
So
right?
you're trying to-
Why are you in the
you're trying to poke
1800s?
holes in his
I'm
thing?
poking holes here.
See, that's because you're not thinking outside the box like Mr. Eastwood.
You're
was.
saying it's illogical what he's saying?
I know. I'm saying I think a prequel to Beer League as you as a Little Leaguer actually is a good pitch for a film.
Yeah, well, I can't get a
Young Artie.
I can't get a dime to make anything. All right, let's hear another one.
Hey, Artie. It's Mike Greenwell. You son of a gun.
Who's that?
Remember you boo me all the time at them Yankee games. But hey, the podcast sounds great. If you're ever in Florida,
Red
come down to my
Sox?
batting cages. We'll hit some balls. Keep up the good
Who
work.
was he?
Bye.
Mike Greenwell. He could be in your
Who's
prequel.
Mike Greenwell?
He could play you in the prequel.
Wait, you
was a-
know who he is?
He played for the Red Sox ages ago.
Never heard of him.
He used to blow me at the Yankees.
I missed him at the Fenway.
I mean,
It did. You know what? I mean, when I heard the name Greenwell, it's funny you said that. I started picturing a Red Sox uniform for some reason in my head with that name on the back.
but you know,
Okay. Excellent. What a out of the way.
he could play you in the prequel.
What a great obscure impression.
Rich Little. Rich Little used to do a great. What's his name again?
Mike Greenwell.
Mike Greenwell. He used to do a dead-on Mike Greenwell.
Slater, Screech.
Screech Slater.
So did Fred Travelina.
Fred Travelina. Great, Rich.
Yeah.
This guy's amazing.
He's doing it.
Wow. Artie Quitter podcast is sounding great. How you doing, Artie? It's Tom Cruise. Hey, man, no hard feelings. Sorry you didn't make the cut in Jerry Maguire, but the podcast is awesome, man. Keep it up.
What is Mike Greenwell impersonating Tom Cruise?
I love this guy.
I love it. It was very like the effeminate thing was very subtle. Hey Artie, it's Tom Cruise. It was somewhat like Paul Lynn. Kevin Meaney / Paul Lynn. If Kevin Meaney and Paul Lynn had a kid, that's what it would get. Tom Cruise would have come out.
This guy's a star in his neighborhood now.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah, he's not saying his name either. He's not power hungry.
Jeez.
I like that.
Hi, Artie. It's Tiger Woods. Really enjoying Artie's Quarter podcast.
Pretty good.
Wow. Be nice to get some white women up there, but sounds good. Thanks.
Not much.
Tiger.
All of us, some of them he just mails in completely.
I don't know.
You know, I mean, some of them he's just like, fuck it. The Tiger Woods, he took Clint Eastwood was like an hour.
Hi, this message is for Joe Matarese. Hi, Joe. I think you're great on the show, but you keep leaving early, and you can't make it sometimes because you got other obligations and stuff. If you need a car driver, someone to drive or pick people up for you,
A car driver.
I have no problem doing it. I have a nice big black van. The windows are all painted out for privacy.
Hot.
And I'm just a normal looking guy.
Painted out.
I have like this big, thick black 1970s mustache, black hair, crew cut. A lot of people say I look like
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
Oh, I know.
So shouldn't be a problem. I really love you on the show, and I hope you don't have to leave early. So just let me know if you want me to do it, because I'm actually out of lollipops. I have to go pick some up. Thanks, baby.
This kid really, I hope somebody's watching him from across the street with a high-powered camera.
The dark side's coming down, nothing is real. She'll never know just how I feel.
John Cafferty.
Hey, Artie. It's Eddie from Eddie and the Cruiser.
Oh, he went right to the movie.
Love your new podcast. Keep up the good work.
Eddie from Eddie.
He's calling from the mid-'80s. That was nice of him.
How's he not doing Damone? Come on. This guy's an inch away from it. This is Damone from Fast Times. Come on.
Damone?
Artie.
Love Damone.
It's Chuck Norris. I was just watching Beer League.
Sounds like Clint Eastwood
It's
with
okay.
more rest.
I thought there was a few things missing, like helicopters, grenades, and machine guns. I was wondering if you'd like to do a sequel called Beer League 2, The Return of Braddock.
No.
Here's my idea. You and the boys are playing softball World Series in Vietnam against a bunch of gooks. Your team is so good and you beat them so bad that they retaliate and they put you and your friends in a prison camp and torture and starve you for months or maybe years until I get there. I think it would be a good role for you. I'd like to get you weight down. Maybe down to 75 pounds. And
I get full-blown AIDS.
Good Oscar possibilities. If we really want to get the Oscar, maybe we could throw an AIDS needle out on the field that you run and step on.
Okay.
With the weight loss and the AIDS, guaranteed Oscar. Please let me know.
All right, that's enough. I don't want to get people on Joe's Facebook, man.
Oh.
So I want to get a prediction from Gino about the game.
We talked about this.
Yeah, but not on the air.
I know, but I'm saying, I don't know why I say that. You're right. I'm an idiot. But I see this game shaping up a lot like last year, and I predicted Seattle last year, and I said that then. What I'm saying again, you have to
Did you predict it to be that much of a blowout?
No. But I was on Ron and Fez. I got into a side bet with this guy who was insisting the Broncos would win, and this is why I said I thought Seattle would win. And it's the same thing. People sit there and they look and they say, I love Tom Brady. I love the Patriots offense. They have an improved defense. Their offensive line has been amazing since the Chiefs game. But everything you're basing it on, and you do, it's the NFL, is their schedule versus Seattle's schedule. And when everyone sits there and says, I love Seattle's defense, which you have to, they just showed the stat. They're number one overall defense and number one in yards allowed per game and plays per game in points. But they're doing this. Their defense is without a doubt amazing, but their offense is stymied because it has to play against the NFC West, where you face the Niners twice, the Cardinals twice, the Rams twice. Meanwhile, the Patriots are doing it against the softer AFC West. Jets defense, I'll give you. The Dolphins defense, lousy. The Bills defense was okay. They threw away a game against the Bills last week of the season. But my point is, I just really think Seattle is a better team. I think Seattle wins this game by 6. If you want to score for me, I'm going to say 23-17.
Well, yeah, I want to score from you.
I gave it to you, 23-17. And I like the under based on that.
Next time we have an hour to kill, we'll get Gino's prediction.
Told us about the Bills.
The Bills offense, the Jets offense, the Jets defense.
I'm just trying to explain.
23-17. So you like who? The Seahawks?
Love the Seahawks.
23-17, and so you like the Seahawks and the under. So you're going with the defense.
Oh, without a doubt.
You're going with the defense. All right.
And you know that's
odd from a Charger fan.
Well, as a Charger fan, I enjoy watching a good defense because I don't get to see it with my team.
No, well, I mean, no, but I'm saying I think I like the way the Pats are playing, man. So it's I like the Pats and the over. I like the direct opposite. I think it'll be a good game for a while, but I think the Patriots. Well, they're both second half teams, but I think the Patriots, sort of come back and get it together. I think ultimately, well, let me ask you this. Belichick, I feel, is a better coach. What do you think about that?
I think Belichick's the best coach I've ever seen or will see in my lifetime. I agree with that completely.
Right. So you feel though it's just he doesn't have the horses to beat. It's
just
his
think-
6th Super Bowl.
With that,
So you're giving it to Pete Carroll.
But the thing about Brady is, and I'm paying him, he hasn't won since he got married to Giselle, and I'm not trying to make some kind of stupid, cheap joke
Well,
at this.
why bring it up then?
Because I think that's got a lot to do with it. I think
Why?
I think he was great when he was just focused on football, but now he's a family man with a wife and kids, and I think
Oh,
you're
typical
don't think he
family
brings
man.
it. I don't think he brings as much to the game as he used to.
You think he's
I don't, and I'm not slighting him. I think he's great.
I think he does care. I think he wants to be in that upper echelon of guys who have 4 rings so bad.
Well, he hasn't done well the last 3 times.
I really think he wants to be in that upper echelon so badly. 4 rings puts him up with Montana and Bradshaw, and that's
Sure.
it. And this will make him 500 in the Super Bowl. 3-3. I mean, that's kind of you're losing your legend there.
But Seattle's looking to become the first time back-to-back champs since New England did it in 2002 and 3 or whatever.
I think Deflategate, if he doesn't win this game with a bit of a punctuation, Deflategate blows up more in his face. Eli Manning was on a panel, and even Eli, who's just as diplomatic as they get, is saying something's crazy, something's weird with this. I'm just dying to know how this whole Deflate thing ends. Are they good? Clearly, this kid.
That kid falls on the sword. That's what I heard. I
That's
like
what
that
they're
phrase for
trying
that.
to right now.
Well, I mean, the only one who could have had anything to do with it, I would argue, is Tom Brady. Belichick said it, and I believe him. He's like, I don't give a fuck about how the balls are played. I don't touch a football during game day. I have 800 responsibilities. And he even said players have come to me with certain requests about, and he's like, I don't care.
Right.
But the only person who would do it and would have I could go up to a ball boy if I'm Tom Brady and be like, yo, kid, I need these balls to be at this PSI. Do your thing. I'll give you money or whatever. I'm Tom fucking Brady. Whatever. And I'm not saying that happened, but I'm saying that's the only logical way I could see it would happen.
I mean, listen, this kid. He does something like that. What's in it for him? There's got to be something in it for him.
Dungy had another thing that it's very conspiratorial, but
Tony Dungy, there's a guy whose opinion, Dungy's a smart guy, and I have not heard his opinion. What is his opinion?
He said it could be a disgruntled Patriots employee, and here's why it makes sense. Because
setting them up?
Well, just because here's the thing. Because when it first happened, they're like, well, DeQuell Jackson intercepted the ball, and it shows how goofy the media is. And he's like, this is underinflated. When they asked him, he's like, are you out of your mind? He's like, I didn't notice anything about that. So the question is, who tipped them off? I think this happens all the time in football, like with under and over inflated balls, like if a quarterback.
That's a good point.
Somebody had to tip them off. And maybe I'm wrong. Does anyone know? I didn't read about it. No one has come out and said this is who told us. Suddenly they just know to check the football.
So who are you saying is the disgruntled employee? Some guy,
anybody
who somehow knew that this kid talked to, or
somebody
the kid
who had access to the
himself?
balls, deflated them, and then said to the refs at halftime, "I think you checked those footballs."
Oh wow!
I'm not saying it's right, but I'm like. The thing that gets me is
that's an out there prediction.
How they know to check these balls.
Wasn't there a complaint by Indianapolis in the previous game?
Oh, by the Ravens?
No, the Ravens.
The Ravens told
but it was
the Colts.
Indianapolis said that they had complained at the beginning of the year.
Now that's a story I heard, but I never heard it confirmed.
Did the Colts play the Pats in the regular season? They did, right?
Yes.
And so in that game, you're saying,
yes,
they had a complaint with the footballs.
They said that they had gone to the league and said something was wrong with the footballs.
Okay, well, see, there you go. Then maybe that the disgruntled employee is wrong, but that's the first I heard of that. That makes sense. I just didn't hear that. I still haven't heard that is what happened.
But why didn't they check them? Why didn't they find out before the second half?
Why did they know to check then?
90-second window, man. But for this kid to go in there, that's good.
But it's just more of the media hoopla, because the bottom line is they shut him out 28-zip. It'd be one thing if they were saying the
second half, they killed him.
So it's a non-factor in my opinion. It's got nothing to do with it, but it's fun to talk about.
I think that was a good point what you said, that it's probably done all the time and we're just hearing about it.
I mean, how many times you think that's the first time guys were playing with like less than properly inflated footballs?
Yeah, there's all this gamesmanship stuff with,
and it's part of the game.
Bill Parcells tells a great story in A Football Life. Bill Belichick,
love that.
No, A Football Life. Bill Walsh.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Bill Walsh, was famous for having the first 25 plays scripted. They were scripted out in the West Coast offense, which means he didn't really have to talk to the guys upstairs because he had it all scripted out. So right before they're about to start the game against the Giants in the fucking playoffs, one year. Bill Walsh claims our phones don't work. My headsets aren't working. I can't communicate upstairs, which means until that's fixed, the other team can't work with their headsets either to make it even.
And they didn't need to.
Bill Walsh and the Niners didn't need to because it's all scripted. It left the Giants hung out to dry because now they're not in communication with upstairs and they don't have them scripted out. So, Walsh got away with it. And, they ended up winning the game. The next year during the playoff game, same thing, same scenario. But before the game, right after the coin toss, Parcells goes up to Bill Walsh and says, listen, if those headsets go out again, I let it slide last year. Okay, but if those headsets go out again, someone's getting told. And he said Walsh looked at him, giggled, winked, and said a little gamesmanship. So he admitted that everyone, from Bill Walsh, one of the best coaches ever, to Belichick, they're all looking for an edge. And Parcells probably does the same thing because he didn't punish him.
And I'm guessing Parcells didn't tell the story like this fucking weasel. He's like, it's respect.
He was laughing about it. He was laughing about it, saying, okay, listen, that is messed up, man.
And this
say that phones don't work.
But isn't that hilarious? And this is the other thing I'm saying, and I'm sorry that I didn't get them. I know you're busting my balls to some extent, but I just think Roger Goodell is such like and your boy Florentine hates Goodell, and he'll go on for ages and hours about what a punk and thug, and he doesn't care about anyone but making money and fame and his attention.
He's a slave to the
but he loves pain. He loves creating all these bad guys in the league like Marshawn Lynch and Bill Belichick. And if this was any other team, no one would care. But it's the Patriots who had Spygate and it's just a lot of horse shit. You said it, Art. It's gamesmanship, and guys get away with stuff, you know. And if you can, great. It's part of the game. But I think coaches respect that. I don't think anyone's like, oh, they screwed us with the football.
We'll see what happens. 23-17. Seahawks winning is from Gino Bisconti.
And if I can plug my video, Gino's picks that I picked them all.
Sure, we'll get to the plugs in one fucking second.
I had a lot of coffee. Delicious.
But 23-17, so he likes the Seahawks and the under. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
Flippin', you here tomorrow? All right, so we'll get your predictions tomorrow. I'll give my lock of the week predictions. I will have 2 dimes on the coin toss. I'll let you know who I'm betting.
Oh, on the coin toss?
I'll have 2,000 on the. No, I'm going to bet on a bunch of stuff, but I will have.
But you'll have 2,000.
At least 2,000 on the coin toss. I'll tell you which team I'm going to bet to win the coin toss tomorrow.
And what's 20 grand called in betting schemes? 20 large?
20 G?
No, well, that's just the way you say 20 grand. 20 dimes.
20 dimes. And I will tip my hat to you because last time
20 dimes with a D.
Last time I was on, we were doing our locks, and you picked the over in the Green Bay Seattle game, which is amazing that they
came in. Came in. I've had a lucky touch. I got a $10,000 cushion going into this.
That's nice.
That's why I'm definitely betting the coin toss. And we got to see if we can work this out. We might do part of the Monday's podcast, but at least part of it, maybe all of it, will be me reacting to winning or losing my fucking bets, watching the Super Bowl live from the Artie Quitter.
That's one of my favorite parts in your app.
That'll be funny.
Artie Quitter Studios. Okay, let's do the plugs. Great show today. I want to thank Greg Gass for joining us. Look for him out there going nuts. He's in Phoenix and Arizona and Glendale, actually, with full credentials. Look for the great Greg Gass whenever you can. And Gino Bisconti, let's hear your plugs.
Just GinoBisconti.com. I do my football video called Gino's Picks, where we pick stuff against the spread. 7th annual Gino's Picks Palooza, where I make picks for the Super Bowl. I know, I like saying it.
Gino's Picks Palooza?
You know why I call it that, and feel free to laugh? Because
is Pearl Jam playing?
I do the Super Bowl, but I don't just pick the game and the total. I pick from the coin toss through the national anthem, through I did a which bet to do for the prop bet Bill Belichick, what color hoodie will he wear?
What was the over under and how many words I got in during when you were talking on this podcast?
37.
By the way,
-40.
Under was a lock. Negative, you can't say negative words. Although when you do your Slater joke, I feel like I'm losing words from my vocabulary.
No, we can all pray someone doesn't complain on Joe's Facebook about Gino Bisconti. Which color will Bill Belichick's hoodie? That is, by the way, that's here. That is a prop bet. Which color will Belichick's hoodie be?
It's going gray.
Blue is 7-4. Red 7-1. I like red.
But we went over this. It's a fact. And
Gray's a favorite.
Here's the thing. I said, look, and you can look it up. He doesn't wear the red. He's worn the red 6 times since 2003. He's 3-3. He's worn the blue a dozen times. He's 7-5.
Are you serious? You know this?
First of all, is he wearing a hoodie? Is he wearing a hoodie in Arizona?
wear a hoodie
in Arizona.
That's what I said. He's going to
short sleeve. Cuts the sleeves.
Arizona's the only state ever to lose the Super Bowl because they didn't recognize Martin Luther King Day. I'm guessing he's going to wear a white hoodie.
Okay, this guy says. Okay, give us the odds. What's his record with each color?
It's 7-5 wearing the blue.
Right.
It's 3-3 wearing the red. And last I saw, and like I said, the link, the article I saw said through November of this year, and I'm imagining it was like 45-11 wearing the gray.
Well, this says here, this is a stupid bet, this analysis. This is a stupid bet. Belichick will wear whatever shirt the locker room attendant gives him. The Patriots locker room attendant wields the real power. Well, we know that from the footballs, too.
Right, so you think if the guy hands him a red hoodie, he's going to be like, I'm going to wear that? He'd be like, go fuck yourself.
That's what this guy claims. So, but red, the longest odds, 7-1.
That guy's on the take.
Joe, your plugs.
Listen to my podcast, Fixing Joe, on iTunes or on Stitcher or soon to be on Artie's feed. They're working that out as we speak, the people that work for Artie.
Yes.
I think that's a little weight joke, Artie's feed.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter at the Joe Matarese, and everything else is at joematarese.com. If you want to come out and see me live, all my dates are up there. I'll be in New York City this weekend at the New York Comedy Club.
You can watch later on James Flippin editing out Gino's plug. Artie Quitter. Tell your friends. Go to artiequitter.com. It's got my stand-up dates, and tell all your friends to sign up for the podcast. We're having a lot of laughs over here. Real quick before we leave, let's hear Dan Filato talking to a dog.
Where's Art?
Oh my God, oh my God. Look who it is.
That's the other one. That's the last of one brood.
Oh my goodness. Crazy. I got you.
Where's Art?
I think he went to Starbucks.
He went to Starbucks. It's Derek Jeter. It's Derek Jeter. Hello. If everyone can get over their douche chills from that, please do so. Get a good night's sleep. My predictions for the bowl tomorrow on the last day of the fourth week. We've been on a month, guys. Wow. Tomorrow, last day this week of the podcast. Artie Quitter. Take care. Brush your hair.
You crazy. I got you.